Good afternoon, viewers and listeners. We're here in the Steam House at Birmingham City University, an amazing venue. But today we've got someone who knows all about this venue and all about Birmingham City Centre. In fact, you're in for a real treat today. Welcome, Gino Martini.
So,
Hi.
Good to see you again.
Thank you, and you. He's CEO from the Precision Health Technology Accelerator. Thank you for coming in today. It's a real pleasure to meet you. What is it that you do?
Well, first of all, I'd like to apologise to your listeners because they're expecting a very sophisticated Italian count, I suppose, with a name like Gino Martini. But I'm actually born and bred in Birkenhead on the Wirral. My dad's Italian, my mother's Egyptian, so that's a very interesting mix already. But I'm a trained pharmacist, and I was educated in Manchester. But I've been asked to lead the Precision Health Technology Accelerator, and it's a really exciting opportunity. This is a building that will create many jobs, stimulate the economy, stimulate innovation. Basically, we're going to be part of the Birmingham Health Innovation Campus, which is a 10-acre site, 5-minute walk from University of Birmingham, and 5-minute walk from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Birmingham. And it's all about innovation. It's all about creating jobs. It's all about stimulating the economy and creating new companies from scratch. So that's why I'm here. I remember the day 18 months ago when I went for the interview, and I thought, well, I don't know what I'm doing here. And a guy called Steve Taylor walked me around the site. Well, this is what we're going to be doing. You've got a Commonwealth Games. This is the hospital. This is the university, and this is the site. And I thought, wow, what a great opportunity to really help people in Birmingham and West Midlands, and actually across the Midlands, and in fact nationally, to be able to stimulate the economy, to be able to create these jobs, to create an area where people can work together, collaborate together, get great minds working with each other. What a great opportunity. And it really was. I got so much passion about it because I look at my career. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry. I worked in academia. I was chief scientist for the Royal Pharmaceutical Society for 4 years during the pandemic, and that was an interesting experience. But I also, lived in and around London and in Essex and outside Cambridge. When you see what these life science campuses can actually do to the local economy, to the community, you really understand what a great opportunity this is. And we've also been very lucky. We've got a really good collaborator in Bruntwood SciTech. They're the developer on the site. They've built many life science parks. And we got funding from the LEP, about £40 million. The reality is, over a 10-year period, we're going to develop this campus. It's going to create over 10,000 jobs. It's going to create nearly £500 million of GVA to the local economy. That's just amazing. Now, we're talking about austerity. We're talking about cost of living crisis. The day before the Halloween budget, although it's not Halloween, the reality is a lot of people are going to suffer. A lot of people are going to be struggling to make ends meet. The only way you're going to get out of this mess is by innovating and by creating new companies and new jobs. Okay? Between 1986 and 2006, in the United States of America, the net employees, the companies that actually grew the economy, the companies that actually developed more jobs were less than 20 years old. They were Google, they were Amazon, they were Facebook, yeah? It wasn't Ford, it wasn't GMC, or GEC. It was those companies, right? The United Kingdom has always had a fantastic SME base, small medium enterprise base. And what I want to do is to turbocharge that in the West Midlands and across the region. So imagine that, 10,000 jobs, just like that. Imagine that. And of course it coincides with HS2 opening up. I have to say, I've been really impressed. So much impressed, I've actually moved to the region. That's how committed I am in delivering this dream, because it really is going to be great for the region, great nationally for everybody.
So are you involved in all of the agencies, and you have to bring those people together? Because my guess is without collaboration, it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really interesting. So I'm going to quote an example that people think, what's he talking about? And I quote this example. It's called the sinking ship game. Okay, there you are. Your ship is sinking, and you've been cast adrift on the boat, and you've got to pick 15 items off this ship. Right? Stay with me.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
It is.
And you choose. You could choose water. You could choose a fishing rod, a shaving mirror, an oil drum, whatever. You got to rank it. And I did this exercise at INSEAD. It really had a marked impact on me during my MBA. And essentially, what they do is they get you to score it as individuals. Then they send you away, and then you come back again. And as project teams, you then score the same exercise. What we didn't know, in those teams, everybody had really different scores or opinions about what was the right thing to do. And they run this exercise over 25 years, and without fail, people with different scores, different mindsets, different disciplines, always scored better.
Really?
Yeah, really important, and particularly people from different backgrounds. The answer is, by the way, you've only got 3 days to live when you're abandoned on the ocean because it's too small. So the idea is make yourself bigger. So you need a shaving mirror, you need an oil slick, something that makes you stand out is what you've got to be doing. And I always remember in my team, I had a guy who was a physicist said, actually, he goes, guys, I think we need an oil can and drop the oil over the side and the oil slick can be seen from above. And that really struck me, that when you get different people, different disciplines working together, you always get a better outcome. Okay?
Wow.
So let's move that to the campus and let's move that to the accelerator. My job is to make sure people collaborate. I'm not a landlord. I'm a facilitator. I'm a person whose job is to make sure people collaborate.
Okay.
And I will make sure if you've got somebody who's developing a new way to treat brain cancer, I'm going to put him or her next to a guy called Chris McConville who works there right now, who's developed a really, really neat way of treating brain cancer tumours in patients. And by having this environment where you've got different people from different disciplines, all within 2-3 minutes walk from each other, it's going to stimulate collaboration. It's going to stimulate innovation, and that's my dream. And it all comes back from me doing this exercise in France, in INSEAD Business School, about 6-7 years ago, when I realised, you know what, really important. And I think this is where some people get it wrong. You don't need to be a particular discipline. What you need to do is make sure you've got different minds, different views, working together in a collaborative way. And from that, you'll get fantastic innovation collaboration. I have to say, I've been remarkably impressed with the whole region, the West Midlands and across Midlands again, the can-do attitude, the innovation that exists anyway. And my job, I feel, is to really harness that and actually promote that as well. And that's why I'm here with you guys today, because I think it's a really great opportunity for us to really show that the Midlands has got what it takes.
I mean, I'm literally lost for words because some of the stuff that you're talking about is so visionary, but it's also so dynamic. Can we just talk a little bit about how you became such a influential person? So what's your background? Where did you come from and how did this journey take on? Because there will be a lot of people out there today who are business owners and controllers, but also aspiring business people. They probably look at you and think, wow, this guy is at such a level, but how did that journey take shape?
Well, that's a good point. So I'm 53, and so Mum was a refugee from Egypt. So Maltese family, and they were living in Egypt, and of course Suez Canal crisis erupted. Oh, right. And so they came over poor. My dad was an economic migrant, and he came over in 1962. And I want to raise that because people seem to think this is a new thing, but actually it's not. It's been going on for years. And so nothing was ever given to me. There was no silver spoon in my mouth. In fact, anyway, my mum and dad worked really hard.
Sure.
And I want to give that inspiration to people that actually, if you show acumen, show a bit of gumption, and can-do attitude, things do happen. But what my mum and dad really stressed with me was that education was really important. And, I talked to a lot of Americans, and I'm going off a tangent, but it's related. The Americans think we're barking mad, actually, that we should be even more innovative than what we are. Because you know why? We get really good education, for free. We've got a healthcare system that's really good for free, right? Now you look at our comparison in America, right? One of the biggest reasons for bankruptcy in America, particularly people in so-called working middle classes, would you believe, is the cost to pay for cancer treatment. Wow. This is true. Many families go bankrupt because they can't afford their oncology treatment. So I talk to the American friends, because I used to run groups in America as well. I've had to work all over the world. And they say, you get free treatment, free NHS, which is magnificent. And then you get basically really good free education. God, you guys should be flipping, way up there. Yeah. So that to me is really important. And I studied hard. I worked hard at school. I went to university. I think the first family member to go to university, actually. So that was then. Yeah. And then I decided to go into research. Did a PhD at Manchester University, and then I worked in the pharmaceutical industry. And then maybe it's me. Got to about 40. I was a director. I was an executive in industry, and I thought I don't like this anymore. Let's move into something different. So I became an academic.
That's really important for me. So, were you thinking that for a number of years, or did it just come to you? I mean, that's a big decision.
It's a big decision, and financially a very big decision, because I could have easily stood there and stayed there and took the silver shilling, as we say, in the old days. And I don't know. I just felt I lacked belief in what was being said to me. I then did an MBA, and then realised that actually you guys aren't leading very well, because you look at all the theory, you look at the practice and all that. So I kind of realised that actually I'd outgrown this role. So I went to a bit of an entrepreneur. I went to King's College London as an innovation head professor. And that opened a whole new world. Maybe financially not the best moves, but actually what it did was to prep me for my next few roles, if that makes sense. Yeah. Then I moved back into industry. And then I did this chief scientist role. And then I now realise, as chief exec of the PHTA, the Precision Health Technology Accelerator, one of the reasons they wanted me was the fact I'd worked in academia, big industry. And so it's really interesting. It's now gone full circle. Yeah. But otherwise, I would have been stuck in a large pharma company, just waiting to be made redundant in the end, because that's effectively what happened to all my colleagues. Whereas I've been all over the world, which I have done, not only with industry, but also as an academic, and also in this current role. Believe it or not, I've already been to Japan, I'm going to Strasbourg. So, I'm traveling around a lot, but ultimately I'm seeing the world do something I really enjoy doing. And actually the experience I've got, I would never got if I'd stayed where I got to, if that makes sense.
It makes absolute sense. And actually what you're doing is you are coming back and helping potentially 10,000 people to get a job. But the legacy will go way beyond that, won't it? Because if you're building buildings, they're going to be around forever almost.
Well, it will be a legacy, won't it? Because, and like I said, Bruntwood, who we're working with, Bruntwood SciTech, and actually that they're linked to Legal and General. We want to do something sustainable. Now, sustainable, people think green. Sustainable also means it's long living, long lasting, and actually we're adding value to the local economy, and to patients as well. They get access to innovative medicines, because clearly we're going to be a hub for clinical excellence. What the pandemic has highlighted is, and we use the word precision health, right? And that's often being used with personalized medicine, where we get the right dose, the right drug. No. Precision health to me is that the right patient gets the right treatment.
Okay.
It's really important. And we're seeing that actually that's not been happening. And we've kind of known about it for the last 20 years. And certainly when it comes to cancer, we've known that. But actually, let's make sure the right patient gets the right treatment. So not only are we leaving a sustainable legacy of job creation, right, we're also making sure, I believe, access to innovative medicines is going to be one of our key objectives as well. And the West Midlands has got a patient population of 6 million, right? They've all had the electronic records for the last 20 years. Okay, it's got ethnicity of 30%, which is really high. And so the reality is, you can then compare that to London with patients about 8 to 9 million, where the records are fragmented.
Yes.
and the population is very fluid, i.e. they move in and out, actually, Birmingham's got a lot to offer. Sorry, West Midlands got a lot to offer in terms of patient population. So I think it's a great opportunity. We're going to not only going to stimulate jobs, the creation of new businesses, innovative businesses, we're going to actually help patients, and that's really important. Patients will be at the centre of this as well.
We go out to, I think, a modest client base or viewer listener base. Is there anything that you'd like to ask our viewers to do, to be aware of, to almost help you? Is there anything that you need from future business owners or current business owners to do, or have you got all of that sort of?
Spread the word.
Spread the word.
Because it's really interesting. Because I sometimes I feel sorry for the region a little bit because timing goes against us. So what people don't know about this story was first discussed in 2012. They put a team together in 2015, and Dr. Steve Taylor, who did a lot of the really difficult work in putting this together. I started the journey in 2017 when the land was bought, and then the whole plans were signed off in November 2019. So you roll on 4 months later, COVID came along, and boom, and then COVID comes and goes, and then we get the Ukraine crisis, and that affects steel supply. There's a lot of things going on. But the other thing we've had, even though it's great for the region, was the Commonwealth Games.
Right. Okay.
And the region did a fantastic job, but a lot of people focused on the Commonwealth Games.
Okay.
Commonwealth Games, the legacy is there, but now please look at this site that's happening, it's being developed, because it's going to be a fantastic opportunity. We've had great backing from the Mayor, Andy Street. He's been, we've had the Prime Minister come and visit, and obviously, we will continue our links with government. But raise the profile, be proud. This is a great opportunity for the region, and you need to be proud of it. Because I tell you what, if this is transplanted in Cambridge or in Oxford or in London, they'll be shouting about it every single day.
Yeah.
And I've seen some articles recently that have I'm a passionate guy. They've really irritated me a lot.
Yeah, sure.
And they're in public domain, and they're talking about lab space being an issue, collaborative space being an issue. And what they'll say is, oh, well, this site's going to open in 2026. So I emailed one and said, hold on, we're going to be open in 2023. What about coming to us and talking to us? So they're now talking to me. And that, I want people to say, well, hold on, life sciences, innovation campuses, we've got one in Selly Oak, right next to the hospital. Come over there and have a chat. That's what I want you guys to do. Raise the profile and be proud of it, because it's going to be fantastic for the region.
Is there somewhere they can go to have a look on a website? Is there?
www.phta.co.uk. That's the accelerator, which I'm going to be responsible for. And then the BHIC campus, the overall campus, again, you type BHIC, BHIC, it'll come up, and you'll see the whole campus. So the campus is going to be 10 acres, so it's going to be the largest. There's going to be potentially up to 5 phases on there. And phase 1 is the accelerator, well, the first 3 floors, 3, 4, and 5 of the accelerator, which I'm in charge of. And we're going to be basically the anchor tenants, the flagship, really, to bring in more business and more interest.
Wow. Is there anything that we've missed? Is there anything you'd like to summarise? Do you want to go over anything again, because it's so important? What would you like to sort of say to, I know you've already given a message, support it, but...
Not just support it, flag wave it.
Oh, okay.
Be proud of it.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, because, what you're seeing now is that other regions are beginning to have their own life sciences campuses. I am really passionate about this, by the way, because when I joined the industry in the 1990s, life sciences was up there as one of the biggest contributors to the economy. And like I said, day before, a very, very difficult budget. We're going to have a very difficult Christmas. We're going to have a very difficult 6 months, if not 9 months, if not a whole year. And you can sit there and cry about it, but actually getting companies up and running, being innovative, attracting foreign investments, growing, spinning out, whatever it is, it creates value, creates jobs, creates money for the revenue, and I'm very passionate about that. Like I said, I gave you the view what the Americans said about what we are, and it's true, Sure. We grasp it. Also, the whole site will be developed by 2031, 32, thereabouts. Of course, that coincides with HS2, and think about what HS2 can do, I was speaking to the owner of Manzor's, the curry house, literally on Curzon Street, and I said, you know what? I said, I've just realised, I said, that I can buy a hot curry from you. I mean hot in temperature, pack it up. I could walk down the street, jump on the train, and 37 minutes later, I could be in Euston eating it hot.
Wow.
37 minutes between Birmingham and London.
Very quick.
It's going to open up so much potential.
I think the fastest train from London at the moment is about 1 hour 40.
Yeah.
That's half.
Yeah, oh yeah. And that does make that's a tangible difference. That means you can get a lot of people come backwards and forwards between Birmingham and what have you. And this image of Birmingham being, I don't know, Suffield, maybe get it from Peaky Blinders, I don't know. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. And we've got a lot of skilled people here. We really do have. And housing is affordable, okay? And it's good standard of living. I live, 30-minute walk from the city centre now, and I enjoy the fact I can just walk and enjoy the city centre. It's got a lot going for it. But we've got a great tradition, great heritage of innovation in the region. And one of my jobs is to flag wave it as well. And, I'm an outsider coming in. I think I'm a surrogate Brummie now, but the bottom line is what we have here is really important. What I want from the listeners to understand as well is stand up and ask about the question, what's happening about levelling up, yeah? It's been raised. Let's see some more levelling up, and people should be calling it out. And that's one of the messages as well. Be proud, and that's where levelling up, and hopefully we'll get more investment.
Wow. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Pleasure.
And to our viewers and listeners out there, that was a really insightful. We don't really, in business, get to see that sort of level of person coming in to understand the strategic cogs that work in city centres. I mean, Birmingham's, second to London in the UK in terms of size. So to have somebody of your sort of position is unique. I've never come across it.
Well, all I'll say is I've lived in Manchester. I've lived in obviously I live in Birmingham. I live in Essex, and I've worked in London. I can see how transformational these campuses can be. I use the word not lightly, transformational. Yeah, not transactional. Transformational. And the value you can add to the local economy and to people and to vision. I can't stress enough. People should get really proud, should get really behind it. And I think what's happened is we talk about the COVID-19 fog. There is a fog, because people are, we're just coming out of a huge pandemic. We've got the Ukraine crisis. People getting a little bit distracted. But be distracted, but don't be distracted. Realize there's a solution here that can help everybody. It'll be transformational. And I know it. I'm very confident because I've seen it happen in London, I've seen it happen in Manchester, and I've seen it happen in Cambridge. It's a formula that works. These science parks really do add value and bring a lot of good to the region. It's not just for the people today. It's for their children and their children. So it really is that legacy. It is legacy. I mean, I mentioned to the viewers today and to the listeners that I'm from Birkenhead. I'm born and bred. And so in Birkenhead, just around the corner is a place called Port Sunlight. Lord Lever set up Port Sunlight. What he wants to do is to make sure that people have good jobs, good lifestyles, because then they can create, good outcomes. What he created was Unilever. Okay. Oh. Now, but Birmingham has a similar heritage. 5-minute drive from the site is Bourneville. The Cadbury, and they did the same thing. Sure. Now, there's a lady called Dr. Bolo Olabi and Sir Michael Marmot. They talk about health inequality. That's something I'm very, very passionate about. Why should, people be deprived and not get good treatment or get access to things, and not get the jobs because of the background? Why should they? Look at me. No one gave it to me. No. I had to go and fight for it, right? Mm-hmm. And I know what it's all about. And the beauty about the site is I want to make it part of health inequality kind of campaign. So we're gonna on the 4th floor we're creating a skills centre where we can train 140 people. As a promise today, listen, I'll make that skills centre open for free for people who want to treat teach skills for people who get those jobs.
Wow.
Okay. So the weekend I'll open it up, evenings I'll open it up, because you know what? Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. And that's what we want to do. But Cadbury's have actually shown the way. They've developed Bourneville, and that was helped the local populace as a Unilever. Just history repeating itself.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? And that's really important. But we've got Skill Suite. The first thing I said was, Skill Suite's too small. You said it was 80 people, don't care, make it 140. I said, so we can train more people. Clearly, we have a business to run, but I will make it available as when I need to help local charities, people whose job it is to upskill people as when we can, so that those people get the jobs they fully deserve to get.
Wow. Gino Martini, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Viewers and listeners out there, until next time,